returns to Darden last week, and obviously that worked out really well in that first week. What did you like about what you saw in this first game taking over there?
I tell you what, I was impressed with the fact that, the way he managed the game. The plus 50 situations, he had 2 Peter calls. He actually went out and executed that, got the corner out of bounds, did a nice job with that. Obviously, did a really good job on the return, got the ball vertical, found the butt to run off of, created a play, made a guy miss in space, and got vertical, got up the field, didn't waste any time. I was really impressed with what he did on game day.
Just overall, with some of the guys you've added, now you've seen
Yeah, I think the guys have done a good job with it. I think they want to go cover kicks. Grant Stewart wants to go cover a kick. KJ Britt wants to go cover a kick. And we've got some competition going amongst the group. Pat O'Connor does a really good job with the guys. Andrew Adams does a nice job. So you've got a good mix of some veteran guys and the young guys that are actually want to go get that done, and it's really worked out well for us at this point.
Richard had one of those plays, 2 downfield on a punt coverage last week.
That was a great play. I mean, you talk about setting the tone for the day. We talked about shutting that returner down, and the guys did a great job of going and getting that done. That's a group effort, obviously. We got to hang the ball. We got to place it. But the gunner's got to go make that play and go take the shot, and he did it. And that was a really big-time play for him.
I don't think we've even thought about Carson Tinker much. It says he's done his job. Do you have a sense for the timetable and when Turner could be back there?
I don't know. So I've tried not to ask. I'm like, okay, I've got Tinker. Let's just go forward, moving forward with him, and just trying to get better with Tink every week, and he's done a good job for us. He's really stepped in, field goals, the punt protection, so he's stepped up, and it's really good. A guy's doing his job when you don't hear about him, at that position. That's one guy you don't want to hear his name a lot. So, but he's done a really good job for us.
like you've always had a guy, a guy.
I think the biggest thing is we've got to execute our coverage principle. We've got to take care of things in the return game, and take care of our principles and our concepts in terms of what we want to do, whether it's punt coverage, kickoff coverage, punt return. We've got to go execute our coverage concepts and take care of our business, and not try to do something that we're not used to doing.
From a rap opinion, obviously it affects the players. But are you able to control it a little better than a zone like that?
Yeah, I think you can. For example here, I mean, it's going to dictate to you. And the punter and the kicker don't like this because you got to drop that ball to punt it, and it's moving. And you say, well, only move that much. Well, that's all you need. And it's a bad punt. So, no, this is a break. It's a lot easier, to punt in a dome. You can place the ball to the field. You can place it to the boundary. Where here, you're really going to try to play the wind because if you want to punt right, well, you're punting it into the wind. It's coming back to the middle of the field. Well, now they got exactly what they want, because you got a two-way go, so now you're splitting your coverage.
Although I guess if you were going to be playing in these types of conditions, you would have the edge because of the fact that you're familiar with the weather pattern.
Yes, no question about it. Outdoors, on the grass. When I was in Atlanta, we were obviously indoors all the time. It's not a huge advantage, but it is. When you land that plane, you get off the plane, you see this wind. It does cross your mind like, oh God, have we been outside enough? So on a week like this would definitely be an advantage for us.
You guys have had 3 games where you lose a starting corner early in the game, and sometimes your backup corners are your gunners and your beaters.
Yeah.
How tricky is that to decide whether somebody can continue that? You have guys that thought they were playing nothing but teams that are now adding 50 defensive snaps.
Yeah. So what you try to do, it really obviously try to train everybody throughout the week and give guys reps and, so that when that situation does come up, you can make the replacement, because we always have to think ahead on special teams in terms of those situations, in particular when it's happening at one position, because one turns to two, as you guys know. Next thing you know, you're on 3 and 4, and now you need a receiver or a tight end or a running back to go play a role. Well, you have to, throughout the course of the week, you've got to find reps for those guys to go play those, get those gunner reps.
Is there a player or players where in those situations, they've had to step in, in those last minute replacements that you've been really proud of, or you think just did a really fantastic job?
I think, most of the guys, they understand that the next man up, it doesn't change. We've got a goal, and the goals don't change. So I think most of the guys understand that, hey, whoever goes in there next now, it doesn't drop now. You can get away with this or that. So I think the biggest one was Keyshawn Vaughn. He had to step up. Now, he had a couple of days to practice to get ready for it, but he did a nice job when he got in. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
When he got injured, there were a lot of people that were asking, like, oh, wow, he's a starter, but he's also playing on special teams, which
Right.
you don't always see. Did that in any way give you guys pause as a coaching staff about, because again, I know that your roster's only so, it's only
Right.
so big, like you have to have some guys that do both, but
Right.
did that give you guys pause at all about like the way in which you're using some guys, like, all right, maybe just because of the way the season's gone with all the injuries and stuff,
Yeah.
did that make you
I think the roles that we use the starters in, you'll find that most teams, safeties on kickoff coverage, it's usually the 2 starting corners or the 2 starting safeties. Punt return, it's usually the 2 starting corners out there. Some teams, it's the 2 corners and the 2 safeties. So it's relative. Everybody's got to have a role. There's only 45. Now you can get, with the practice squad and the COVID, and you can get a guy or 2 more, but you're really dealing with such a low number that, you could end up with the starting corner on the field. And I think the guys all understand that. Our field goal protection's the entire starting line, and 2 starting defensive tackles. So everybody has a role to play in there, but it can change. But that's what we get paid for, to make those sudden adjustments, and they are gone over during the week, so everybody knows that, hey, if somebody goes down, I tell the guys on punt, if that left tackle goes down, don't be surprised if I'm tapping you on your shoulder, you're up, and they understand that.